It's the You Name It podcast with Davin Christensen and Jerry Taylor.
Hola, Jerry.
How's it going this week, Davin? We're not at work today.
I know. Snow day today.
Yes, today is Tuesday the 16th, and it turned into a snow day.
Yep. We got hit. I think most of America got hit.
America got hit by the snow.
America.
It'll happen.
People in Texas were sliding. Did you see any of the sliding videos on the news?
I did not. Are those the people that don't know how four-wheel drive works?
Well, it was like people in Atlanta backing out of their driveway and the pickup truck just slides down the hill.
Yeah, well,
sheet black ice and people
I've
sliding
seen
off
a
their
lot of that over the
porches.
years, my thing is two things. Thing one, for people in Michigan where it snows all the time, you have to learn how four-wheel drive works before you can feel like you can drive around like normal. Four-wheel drive works great going forward. Hitting the brakes doesn't do anything at all for you.
Not so good.
No, so don't get so comfortable when you're driving that around.
Well,
My nose is getting stuffy. Okay, thing two. You people in the South have no idea how to drive in the snow.
Well, no, and they're not prepared for us, so you can't really blame them, you know?
No, they get hit with snow and it freaks them out, and I get it. Not you, Jimmy, in the South, because I know you're from Michigan.
Yep.
But other people from the South. I bet Jimmy will tell me in a message tomorrow whether or not he feels the same way about drivers down south.
Yeah, it's like getting hit in the face with a wet mop. You're not ready for it, and it hurts.
You're saying those people down there?
Down south, yeah, they don't know what hit them. It's like, what the fuck?
This is crazy. And they're not ready for it like the cities and counties aren't ready to deal with it.
I got a bitch about my city because, Bill informed me that our county...
Who's Bill? Does the listener know who Bill is?
Bill Christensen, spelled correctly.
Oh, that guy.
No, he's like, Oakland County, yeah, they don't even start plowing the roads until the snow's ending. I'm like, that's...
I've heard of that, though.
It's fucking great to know.
Yeah.
Because I took my car out...
Wait, are you in Oakland County?
Yeah.
Okay.
That in my city didn't even start on Monday. Monday we only got like 2 to 3 inches maybe. And I spun out twice on my way in and then just got frustrated and called off work. And then an hour later the snow stopped and I probably could have made it in and then I was feeling guilty.
Well, you have to protect the Cadillac.
Well, yeah,
from damage.
I had it in all-wheel drive, but it's still... there's ice under the snow. It still slides.
I didn't think that thing had all-wheel drive.
It does have all-wheel drive. It's just not the greatest.
Is it like something that you can turn on and off?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's great. You know, people right now are saying, get on with it, is what they're telling us.
That's true.
I can hear it actually through telepathic connection and through time.
Oh, okay.
Because they'll be listening to this tomorrow.
So what do we got today, Jerry? I know we got a listener comment or two.
Well, we have to talk about what I was referring to wrongly as retail theft stories, when really it's not retail theft. It's more like first job scams.
Okay.
Scams is probably a better word for it. Because this happens when you were 17 or 14 or even younger, and you get your first job and you start thinking about ways to scam the place that you work at. Everybody. I did a little light survey at work and asked a bunch of people, and nearly everybody admitted to the fact that they did something like this at their job when they were younger.
Right.
So I don't know how we handle this. Like, the easy one. Sandy at work. We call him Sandy because he was sanding a wall one time. So I just made that his name.
Yeah. Puts in the base plates and sands drywall and
does a bunch of stuff. I just call him Sandy. He said he has a friend currently that used to work at a pizza joint and that they still will get together, drive over to the pizza place, walk in and make their own pizzas and leave.
Oh.
So But I was saying I don't think that the pizza stuff is really the scam kind of thing I'm talking about.
Okay.
But he had another one that's more in line with that. Here's the scam one. Says he's got a friend that works at a large retailer. I'm not going to give away the names of the places.
Okay.
Don't want to get anybody in trouble. Who will, every time they have one of those new, highly sought-after video gaming systems,
Right.
you know, like the new PlayStation 12,
Right.
all that kind of crap, and nobody can find them. He says that his friend will put aside 3 or 4 of them when they come in, so he can come in and buy them and sell them on eBay.
Oh.
You know,
Okay.
jack up the cost, buy a couple of $100 or more. I don't know. They do that a lot out there.
Nice.
That's kind of a good one there. That's a retail theft story, scam story.
Well, when I worked, one of my first jobs, I worked at a fast food restaurant, and at the end of the shift, if you had any chicken nugget shaped food left over, you had to get rid of it.
Chicken nugget shaped food.
Yeah, I'm not telling you what restaurant. So
Yep.
we would always pour in a new bag of the chicken nugget McFood about an hour before the shift was going to end, before the end of the day, so you knew you weren't going to sell out of them and you could bring them home.
That's a good way to do that. When I worked at a Greek gyro place
Okay.
when I was younger, fast food. I'm not going to say the Olga's name of it.
Right.
But, anyway, I would always throw in an extra couple of their chicken pieces when I
Right.
was a cook there, just so I could eat them on the side. I got yelled at though. What are you doing? You're not here to eat. You're here to cook. that shit.
Yeah, I used to work at a pizza restaurant up in college, and you're not only a driver, you also make the pizzas and stuff. And my roommates figured out that they can call in a fake order to a fake address, and we would end up, the driver would go out and, false delivery, a no-show or whatever. There wasn't caller ID back then.
Yeah, this address doesn't exist kind of thing.
Yeah, so the pizza would get brought back, and at the end of the shift, whatever pizzas were left over, people could take them.
You
Workers.
could take it home for the family.
So they would order what they wanted and get it at the end of my shift.
Yeah. I have to look for something here because we had, I wonder if I should read this or not. Listener Adam wrote in to younameitpodcast@gmail.com. Said, when I was 16, I worked at a superstore where I worked in the cafe section running the cash register.
Okay.
So what I would do is have friends come in and check out with me instead of the normal lines and add on extra discounts. They would
Okay.
buy CDs. This was 2004, he says. Video games, food. He says, you name it. I wonder if he knew he put that in there. Anywhere from 20 to 50% off retail price. We got away with it for about 3 or 4 months until undercover security noticed the same 2 to 3 guys coming in a lot and checking out with me.
Okay.
They ran the numbers on the register and saw that I had given away like $45 or $50 worth of discounts and permanently suspended me. Well, as it turns out, they had only checked the register for the year of 2004.
Oh, boy. He's been doing it for how many
And I was
years?
suspended mid-January, right? If they would have checked 2003, it would have been more like $800 or $1,000. He says, I am now on a blacklist for this retail chain and can never work there again.
Oh, bummer.
That seems like not that much money, though.
Well, that
I
brings
think
up
that was light thievery.
that brings up the story that was in the news. That's kind of how we got to this, was the story that was in the news about the kid with the part-time job at, I think it was Walmart.
Oh, I forgot. You told me about this, but I forgot what it was.
Yeah,
Let's just say a major retail chain.
over $1 million he took in like a matter of weeks.
Because he was smart.
He was returning items that weren't and putting it in his account. Like he'd grab stuff off the shelf, act as if it was a return, scan it, and return it to his account. I guess
Yep.
at some point he figured, like, within the first week or two, it's working so far. I'm going to go to jail, but whatever.
Yeah, no one's saying anything, so let me see if I'm going to really rack it up. That's funny that you said that because I had forgotten about that story. And one of the people at work, Josh, said he told the story of his friend who worked at a large lumber style place.
Okay.
You know, where you buy things
For the home.
for your home.
Right.
You know what I mean? He said that they originally had a return policy where you didn't need a receipt to return things and you can get the cash back.
Yep.
Well, his friend would started small, but ended up taking things like generators and putting them out by the garbage, and then call a friend, "Hey, come pick this up, and I'll split the money with you." Big, large items,
Wow.
thousands of dollars worth of stuff. And the friend would. I thought it was kind of funny because I said, "Was it 50-50?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I go, "Should have been like 60-40. If you're the guy working there, you can say, we couldn't do this without me. So you
Right.
get, 30 or 40%, not half and half. Because they'd still do it, Well, that guy got caught. Police and everything.
Oh.
But no charges filed. Just fired. Isn't that weird? Like,
Yeah.
you just stole. It must have been like under the amount they could charge him. Like $1 under the amount for a felony or something.
Okay. Well, some of those stores, they don't, like Costco, I believe, used to do you didn't need a receipt. And I don't know if they still do or not, but they could see on the card that you used whether you purchased the item or not.
So, are you saying that they could run your card and see your purchase history?
Well, they want to know the credit card you used to buy it, and yeah, they can track it.
Oh, they pull up their side. Yeah.
Right.
I got you. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, this was probably before they had that technology anyway.
Yeah, now they have that to keep stuff from happening, like people buying a fan at an auction site and then taking it and returning it to a home store, or getting the money back because they sell the same fan.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's broken.
What happened? Oh, I lost our email for a second. That brings me to my favorite one. Something that I did. Because I'm a genius. I was probably about 17, maybe 18, which made it even more dangerous. Davin, if you turn 18, crimes have far more consequences than when you're 16.
Yeah, they are.
But I worked at a old-fashioned pharmacy / convenience store place. It wasn't the big chains at all. Mm-hmm. I don't know why that matters, but that's where I worked. And I remember that I started thinking about the bottle return because I would take the bottles in from the customers and process that. And I realized, hey, wait a minute. We have a place right next door that I don't know why they take them here, because they can take them to the discount pop and beer store next door.
Right.
Well, instead of them taking it there, I decided that I would bring their bottles into our store, stack them all up on a dolly, wheel them out the back door to the place next door, and turn them in myself. For like 10 cases of beer cans, give me $25. Just wheel them next door.
Aren't you the guy that works next door?
Yeah, they didn't care. They're like, whatever.
Wow.
I felt like that was a pretty good one, and I never got caught with that one. I got caught and fired for other reasons.
Yeah.
But,
I always wondered
I
if
the
you
bottle
could,
return one.
I always wondered if you could take like a little stick and put it on one of those bottles and like tape it to the stick and push it in the machine, let it read the barcode, and then pull it back out again and do it again.
Oh, you're talking about at the self-service return machine at the grocery store stuff?
Right. Yeah.
Like you could trick it by just having it scan the same barcode over and over again because you have it on a stick.
Exactly.
I have a hard time thinking that would work. But
Yeah, and the cameras now would see you with this Diet Coke bottle on the end of a stick.
yeah, I don't know. I bet those machines feel the weight too, or something. There's got to be something besides just the barcode. You never know, though. They might have been stupid and just figured no one's going to mess with it. So
Right. We had,
now you got to try it.
One of our friends in college, his girlfriend worked at a sporting goods store up at college, and
Yeah.
she had a nice little scam. She's like, "Oh yeah, whenever I'm working, come on up." And we'd walk in and we'd, "Hey, Melissa," or whatever her name was, "anything on sale today?" And she'd be like, "Everything's on sale." So you go to her checkout lane, and whatever you were purchasing, she would ring it up as the lowest priced item in the store of
Yeah,
that
I've heard
brand.
about that too. Yeah.
So getting Nike tennis shoes for $10. So you're still spending money at the store, but yeah, totally screwing up their inventory.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's hard to say how these things came around because technology changed so much in the last couple of years.
Right.
But I remember hearing stories about people at Kmart or something that they would just ring up a different item. But really, all that is just I'll walk you out of the building with your stolen goods. You know.
Well, my favorite one in our industry was we had a Chicago Auto Show was coming up, and we had a bunch of flat screen monitors on back order. So the project manager had them direct shipped to the electrician's dock, which is a separate dock. And that way you can get a signature from one of the electricians that works there. They accept it, and then when you come to town, you can pick it up. And he had the cases all made at our warehouse and sent out there. So now we're getting new items. We can put them in these brand new cases. So the cases are there. He gets a FedEx saying, "Oh, your shipment has arrived." So he goes down to the electrician's dock. Nope, no sign of them. So he does the tracking on it and looks at who signed for them.
Yeah.
Rob D. Hugh. Robbed you.
Robbed you. Robbed you.
A whole pallet of flat screens.
Ooh, that's a lot of stuff.
I thought that was kind of creative, though. The guy who signed for it was Rob D. Hugh.
That's shitty. He probably felt really shitty. Not Rob, but the guy who lost all the thousands of dollars worth of giant TVs or whatever.
Yeah, and then you got to scramble to get them. You know,
I had subwoofers stolen from the loading dock in Anaheim.
Okay, I believe that.
Yeah, and it's just weird that somebody would even do that because if you remember, the box was huge. Mm-hmm. It's like not that the people would know. These subwoofers are the big, giant subwoofers, like 2 feet by 2 feet, or larger, heavy, and the whole case and everything was gone. So someone took this case that I have a hard time thinking could fit in anybody's car, let alone SUV or anything.
Oh, it's amazing what they'll take. Because
I don't know how they do this.
Honda years ago had a encased in glass giant cabinet inside a wooden case, and inside this glass cabinet was like a Honda snowblower, a Honda lawnmower, all the different things, Honda generator, all these things that Honda makes, and they're all mounted and displayed like nicely. Showed up to one of the cities, they open up the case, there's nothing inside it but the mounts.
The mounts in the glass case and none of the items.
Right. So somewhere along the loading dock, they offloaded all of the...
Someone's got a new snowblower.
A new Honda everything.
Right. You know, as an aside, I just wanted to tell you that I have a snowblower from Black and Decker, which I think is weird.
Brack and Decker?
I said Black and Decker.
Okay.
I didn't say Brack.
I didn't know if it was a Chinese knockoff. Oh, Brack and Decker.
No, it's not. And I was worried about buying it, but it's really one of the better ones I've ever used. I couldn't believe it because you think of Toro and Honda and everything. You never think of Black and Decker because you think of that as like kind of the low-end tool thing,
Right.
you know. But it's really good. So there's my endorsement for the week to our non-sponsor, Black & Decker.
I went with a Honda snowblower, and it starts on the first pull every time.
So does my Brack & Decker.
Brack and Decker.
Every time. All right. Do you have any more scam stories? I mean, we could go on with that stuff, but I don't know how interesting it is.
No, I'm good. I'm good with that. I think we covered the gamut on that one.
Yeah. I worked at the community pool, Davin, and occasionally I was put into the cashier's booth because they would charge $1 or something like that for people to come in. All you had to do was just not write that person down and put the $1 in your pocket.
Yeah. Oh,
got a couple of days where I came away with an extra 20 people down on the list from usual.
Oh, okay.
Which was big money back then.
Oh, yeah.
Like back in the mid 80s, your $20 is you could take a girl out on a date with $20.
Well, yeah, when you're making $5 an hour,
It wasn't even that. I think my actual pay there was $3.25 or something like that.
So every dollar helps.
Hilarious. I have a very important theory that we have to talk about because I watched a documentary on the weekend.
Okay, what'd you watch?
This documentary was called A Glitch in the Matrix.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
No, I have not.
Well, this is all about the idea of simulation theory, that we all live in a simulation. Do you hear anything about that stuff?
I have heard a little bit about the living in a simulation, yeah.
Probably because our friend, who I started calling Ellen now because I think it's funny, Elon Musk, was one of the people who believes this and talks about it a lot. Well, this is a good documentary, everybody out there. It's interesting, but it's infuriating at the same time. Because the idea that we're in a computer simulation, it doesn't, what these people are telling you about how this is working doesn't make sense because they contradict themselves all the time.
Okay.
You know? So let me see. I took some notes on this. What is it?
You just found yourself taking notes.
I did. I was sitting there taking notes.
I got to take notes for the show for this one.
Yeah, well, a lot of it was really dumb, too, because this one guy says he didn't think his parents were real. Thought that they were like, the whole deal about the simulation? There's either an NPC, which is a non-player character, which is the stuff that's just a computer program that pretends to be a person, right?
Right.
Then there's player-controlled units, like what would be your character that you play on your video game.
Okay.
I think most people think that they're either a player-controlled unit or they're I don't know how they could think they're an NPC if they're thinking about simulation theory, though. So that's what I mean. It's weird that it doesn't come together that well.
Okay.
This guy said he thought his parents weren't real because they had repeated behaviors. He was saying that they always did the same. Their schedule was the same all the time, and they did the same thing at the same time. And I'm like thinking to myself, he's forgetting that he was doing that too, that he had a schedule. He would get up, eat breakfast, play a video game for 8 hours. You know? That's repeated behavior. That doesn't mean anything. And just because you think you have strange coincidences, like thinking about an orange fish and seeing an orange fish, doesn't mean you're in a simulation. You guys have to watch this. It really is kind of funny.
Mind trippy.
I think what my biggest problem is with it is that what is the purpose of having a simulation where people are just jacking off to porn or playing video games all day long?
Right. That's not very fun.
What are they learning from that?
Yeah. That people jack off and play video games all day.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of have to be a big idea of why this is all happening.
What's the goal? What's the end goal?
Elon Musk says the greatest reason is because of the advancement of computer graphics. The greatest reason why we should believe it is what he's saying. Because of how fast the computer graphics programs have come along and everything looks so real now. But I instantly thought, this is what's stupid about this shit, is that he would have had to have the advanced technology before we had the advanced technology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, why would we assume because we had an advancement of technology that we were already in a simulation before that?
Right. We just didn't know about the advancement in the technology.
Just because technology always advances doesn't mean it has to be a computer simulation. Because it's like saying that because we went from the horse and carriage to the automobile, that we're already on a flying saucer.
Right.
Weird shit. Philip K. Dick, famous author, says that he had sodium pentothal and that's when he remembered his other reality. He was getting his teeth done back in the 50s or something.
Okay.
And they gave him sodium pentothal, and that's when he realized that there is another reality. But why would a drug affect a simulation?
Was his appointment at Tooth Hurty?
Tooth Hurty. Dumb. My notes are shitty on here. They talked about a debrief after you get out of a simulation, like the pearly gates thing, where you go through all your whole life with St. Peter, you know?
Uh-huh.
But why do you need to debrief a simulation of a human? So what am I saying here? So one of the main problems is that these people can't seem to decide if they're a simulation made up of code or something else that's in a simulation, but are all mixing all the ideas together, and it just can't work that way.
Huh. And are
But
any
don't
of these
do repeated behaviors, or you're obviously a simulation.
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
I highly endorse watching that, though.
Okay.
It was really super entertaining and well done, too. Everybody watch A Glitch in the Matrix, and then, you know what I did after that? I acquired myself, just because they mentioned it throughout the whole thing. I now have in my queue ready to watch all of the Matrix movies and and that other one with Tom Cruise. What was that called? Oh, shoot. You know, that whole time travel-y kind of...
Oh, yeah. God, what is it?
Minority before it happens.
Minority
Report, yeah. So I had to get those so I could watch
Isn't
because
there-
they kept showing clips.
Isn't there a Leonardo DiCaprio movie out that was made about the similar thing, bending time and stuff like that?
I don't know. Is that the one with all the weird bendy buildings and stuff?
Yeah, yep.
The Inception? Is that what that was called?
That's it.
Inception. Didn't like it. Sort of bored me if you ever watched that.
I watched it a long time ago. I don't remember it, so it probably bored me as well.
I unendorse that movie.
Okay.
Speaking of science fiction movies, this is a TV show called The Mandalorian. Do you watch that show, Davin?
No, I do not.
You don't need to. I will tell you every episode right now.
Okay.
Every single episode is...
Is this a spoiler?
Hi, I'm the man... What's that?
Is this a spoiler alert for all the people who are into it?
No. All the people who are into it already know this. Hi, I'm the Mandalorian. My ship is broken. Well, I'll fix your ship, Mandalorian, if you kill this monster for me. Deal. That's every episode.
Wow. It's like
Every episode, the Mandalorian flies to a different place with a broken ship and has somebody fix it in return for him killing a monster.
Wow. That is like Three's Company.
Three's Company had more complicated storylines than the Mandalorian.
Oh, it was always confusing things. And
That's not a wedding cake, Davin.
Everything
Wait,
was
Jack's not
misunderstood.
gay. He's going to be married to Chrissy.
Yeah.
So that's the Mandalorian.
We had a listener complaint, didn't we?
Oh, yes.
About.
Let me read that. We have a listener Adam, by the way, says, I want to clarify a few things about your SodaStream / Bublé segment.
Okay.
SodaStream has teamed up with brand Bubbly Water, who has long partnered with Michael Bublé for their ads. There were special cans that actually said Bublé instead of Bubbly, and he sent links so I could see it.
Okay.
Also, Michael Bublé was never a part of any singing competition as a contestant.
Yep.
I said, thank you for your astute observations. I'll add this topic to our list for next week's show, and I'll make Davin respond to his ignorance.
Well, I'm just amazed that anyone as talented as Michael Bublé did not come out of the farm that is America's Got Talent or The Voice or any of those things. Someone actually made it on their own.
That's the way it used to always happen.
And they're from Canada. So
There's a lot of Canadian stars, yeah. Canada kind of came in and took over our entertainment industry. Canada and the English people from Ireland and England and Australia. We have a lot of imported stars now. And I like it, and I don't care.
But, my bad. Sorry, I'm not a Bublé fan, but I just imagine that he came out of the America's Got Talent thing. And
yeah. Well, my opinion hasn't changed. Using Bublé for bubbly is stupid and obvious and non-creative.
Yeah. Well, come up with an idea to sell our water. Okay, if I bill, say I put down that I worked on this for 2 weeks. That's 80 hours. I can actually come up with the Bublé and then play video games for 79 hours.
Right. Yep, that's the way around it. That's his job scam. I'm just going to pick the most obvious thing. How would they even buy that? Oh, that's genius.
Yes.
Who thought of that? Was that Roger in accounting? Who thought of that?
Well, it's the same people that came up with Fuddruckers. What was their first choice,
Fuddruckers.
The first one we can't use because it's got a butt in it.
It's got a butt in it.
We can't call our restaurant that. What's our second choice? Fuddruckers. Okay.
Yeah, let's see if we can create a word that almost sounds like it's swearing, but isn't. You Fuddruckers. Speaking of naming things, we had a discussion, ladies and gentlemen, at one time, Davin may not remember, about wouldn't it be funny because you can name stars after people. Mm-hmm. When I got my title from Davin, where I'm a lord now, through a loophole in Ireland, I can be a lord. Davin says you can name stars after people. Well, let's take this to a different level. You've heard about this before, where like some kid has a telescope and he like discovers a new planet.
Yeah. Yep.
And then they get to name it. So, imagine if they named it stuff that would be uncomfortable for the news to say when they reported on it. Like 13-year-old Jeremy from Alberta, Canada, has discovered a new planet. Planet Poopy Pants. Oh, look, he discovered a new comet. Comet Blues Clues. Do stupid shit like that.
Oh, does Planet Poopy Pants revolve around Uranus?
Yeah, it's over by Uranus.
Yep.
Right. Yes.
Must be.
The new planet, Hootie McBoob. I just think that's kind of funny if somebody actually did that. Yeah, there's a comet heading towards the Earth. We have never seen this before. It was spotted by young Wendy from Atlanta, Georgia. She named it Shit Biscuit.
Oh. Well, I actually submitted a name, Jerry.
To the star thing?
No, they did a contest here in Michigan. The MDOT, Michigan Department of Transportation, wanted to name their snowplows. And they had a little contest where, name our snowplows, and we'll put it on the side of the snowplow truck.
Like a charity thing or something?
I don't think you won anything besides getting the name of your choice on the side of the snowplow.
Yeah.
So they gave some really lame examples. So I went online and I submitted Yukon Cornelius from the You Name It podcast.
You submitted both Yukon Cornelius and You Name It podcast?
Well, it wanted to know who you were affiliated with, what company you worked for. So I put the You Name It podcast. So hopefully.
Yukon Cornelius.
I thought that's a great name for a snowplow.
Nothing. I can't remember his voice right now. Wahoo! Some shit like that. Wahoo! Yukon Cornelius. You didn't name it, by any chance, you didn't do another entry where you named the snowplow bumblefuck, did you?
No, that's
That'd be a good one. It just says bumblefuck on the side of it.
duty.
I named
wiper.
my snowplow President Donald Trump.
Ooh,
Yeah, people probably already put that on the side of their snowplows.
yeah.
Let's see. Are we already there?
And we're at 35 minutes.
Oh, I thought we were. I can't see my time indicator from where I'm sitting today.
34 minutes right in there. 35, yeah, close enough.
Let's see, what else do we have here? When I was 15 or 16, to get booze, my friend and I, from across the street, would go to the bowling alley, and they had a doorway to the outside that was into a little foyer area with a doorway to the bar.
Okay.
But the doorway into the bar was right next to the bar. Like you could, almost like an employee thing where they can walk right in and behind the bar. So, of course, we just crawled in, grabbed bottles of booze, crawled out, and ran to the car.
On your hands and knees.
Yes, in a bar.
No one ever noticed the two kids crawling on the floor behind the bar.
No, and this is before you could get away with shit like that because there was no security cameras or anything like that. But we were bad kids.
Yeah.
Not endorsing any of this behavior. I can't believe we didn't get caught, though. But it was almost like, at that point, it was like a game in your head, like a hide-and-go-seeky kind of game. Like, let's see if we can sneak in and crawl behind the bar.
Dumbest criminals.
Yeah, and we were dumb, too, because we took bottles that were already opened.
Yeah.
Like, they had the pouring tip on them and everything. Trying not to spill them as we're crawling around.
Bartender's going for the tea. I know I just poured somebody a tequila. Where the frick is that bottle at?
You know, I can't actually remember if the bar was open at the time or not. I don't know. Part of me thinks it was open because that's why the door was unlocked. But,
Yeah.
which is even more dangerous to crawl into a bowling alley bar. Boy, have I lived life, everybody.
Yep. Bet you never stole their shoes.
Yep, I did.
You stole bowling
Yeah.
alley shoes?
Yep. And a bowling ball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I wore the shoes and carried the bowling ball. We used to have bowling associated with the school somehow. Like at some point in your gym class year, you would go bowling. So they'd take the kids over there. You could walk from our high school to the bowling alley. So I just wore the shoes home. I think I just grabbed my other ones, but I wore the other shoes home. I don't remember how I did it, but carried the bowling ball back and kept it in my locker for a year. So I would, in the middle of classes changing, I would throw the bowling ball out into the hallway and scream. Shit like that for no reason.
I remember
Didn't you take bowling shoes?
No, but I remember my parents signed my sister and I up for bowling lessons. It was more like one of those 10-week city programs where you can sign up through the recreation department or whatever. I think it was just to get us out of the house for an hour and a half a week.
Sure.
But it included a hot dog and a soda.
Well, yeah, that's a standard, though.
Yep. So you get a bowling alley hot dog and a soda, and you get to bowl like 3 games of bowling every week.
Yeah, we used to call that league bowling.
This was for kids, though.
And
So-
we had kids' leagues for bowling. Are you sure you just weren't on a bowling league, Davin?
No, because it was they tried to teach you how to bowl too.
Did they have teams?
No, they didn't have teams, and
solo.
like some weeks they put the rails up, and some weeks they didn't. So you can't throw gutter balls.
Yeah,
So it wasn't a real.
cheating way.
But they teach you how to score, and they teach you how to do all that stuff, and
Well, I'm sure it paid off for you and your education.
yeah, because I bowl once a year now in Cleveland.
I don't even bowl anymore. I can't remember. Last time I went bowling, the girls, my kids were young, like 11 and 6 or something like that.
Bowling's fun.
Sort of like, when was the last time you went roller skating?
Oh my lord, it's been forever. I'd probably break my ankles.
Yeah, because I went like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something.
Yep, that's anything where you have to rent shoes is kind of weird to me.
They clean them.
You're
That's what we said with the COVID rules, that bowling alleys should already be exempt because they already have to clean everything.
Right.
They're already good at it.
But somebody
supposedly good at it. Yeah.
People's feet are gross. I don't know.
Yeah, but they spray the super industrial fungal killer. Right.
Yeah, and roller skates, same type of thing. Ugh. It's kind of creepy. Ugh. It's sticky.
Let's see. I'm going to end this with another thought that I had that may or may not work at all for you, Davin.
Okay.
It is about how we all have to wear masks now and what a problem that's going to be in the future for trying to scare kids. They're never going to be scared anymore when they grow up seeing everybody with masks on, knowing you can't just put on a mask. Ooh, I'm a Dracula.
Yeah. Well, with schools being closed, the kids are going to be too stupid to be scared, too.
That was way better than what I was saying. Schools are closed, kids are stupid now. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of weird because when I was a kid, anybody puts any kind of mask on and chases you around, it's scary.
Yeah.
Now it's just life.
No, you walk into a bank with a mask on and they don't even fucking flinch anymore.
Yeah, that is kind of weird that they
got
used to that.
They'll scream at you if you're on your cell phone.
Yeah. I wonder if it's easier to rob places now. I wonder if anybody did a study about having armed robbery and whether or not it's just easier now because you can wear a mask.
Maybe.
I don't know. People write in and tell us at younameit.podcast@gmail.com or find us on Facebook, You Name It Podcast, and send us your stories. Your shit.
Exactly.
Not your shit. But,
just communicate back and forth with us. Tell us that we're stupid because Bublé is not from Idol and
yeah, I don't know.
that our topics suck.
But I don't know. I don't know if you said it like it was a fact or not. Maybe you did.
I don't know. I thought he was.
That's all the research you're doing before the show.
Yeah, I apologize, Michael Bublé, for thinking that you were once on a singing show.
What if we should name the show that? Let's just name the show Apology to Michael Bublé.
I'm sorry, Michael Bublé. Please forgive me.
Yeah. I think that might be a good idea. What do you think? Apology to Michael Bublé or I'm sorry, Michael Bublé?
I'm sorry, Michael Bublé.
Yeah. I was just thinking if I wrote apology to, it might actually seem like we're going to do an official apology.
Yeah.
Unlike your half-assed, not real apology to Michael Bublé.
Right. Well, the fact is he actually really does have talent then if he didn't need all these judges and people to train him on how to sing and be famous.
Because all those people who win the talent contests are talentless.
Well,
they somehow won them, but they have zero talent.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
I'm digging a hole.
All right, everybody. Before Davin gets American Idol canceled somehow, we should get going. So, yeah, share. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.
Pop wheelie, guys.